Look who's here now, here with me in the studio in New York City. That will be Tom Homan, a man who knows more about this than just about anybody. What's with this surge in Chinese nationals arriving at our southern border? $30,000 they're paying apiece.
Well, they're actually closer to 50,000, 30,000 back when I was an agent. So most of them are paying 50,000 to be smuggled from mainland China to their final destination. It's very concerning. Look, since Biden's taken the White House, they've had over 170 different countries. Nationals of 170 countries have been arrested. China should be concerning, and plus what Griff just said, to release them right after processing. They obviously aren't doing proper vetting. Vetting could take up 2 or 3 days from the Bureau. Yeah. And I've had whistleblowers contact me saying they were ordered to release quickly, so it doesn't appear to be overcrowding, because there's no overcrowding, there's no crisis. And they have actually, 2 days later, found out some of the people they released were hot on the terrorist watch list. So what concerns me even more than this is the Chinese they're not arresting. Since Joe Biden has taken the White House, 1.3 million gotaways. Not a guess. They're on video, drone traffic, central traffic, and drone traffic. 1.3 known gotaways. That means they've seen them cross the border, but they couldn't respond because they're so overwhelmed with these other groups and their processing. So the Chinese that got away concern me more than anything. 170 different countries, right? Some of these countries are sponsors of terrorism. They've arrested over 164 terrorists trying to sneak in the country in the last 2 years. So how many 1.3 are terrorists? That should scare the hell out of every American.
I think it does, as a matter of fact. What is it? 1 million encounters with illegals since October of last year. Mayorkas goes to the border today. Do you expect any change of any kind?
No. He hasn't done a single thing to slow the flow. The Border Patrol agents will tell him the same thing the chief said last week during testimony. Walls work. Why did you stop it? Bad decision. The border's not secure. And most of the fentanyl comes between the ports of entry, not the port of entry. The difference is that most fentanyl is seized at a port of entry because every vehicle stopped. But between the ports of entry, with 70 to 80% of agents pulled off the line to process, that's when the cartels move those that don't want to turn themselves in. That's when they move the fentanyl. That's when they traffic the women and children for sexual trafficking across the border. This secretary has done nothing to secure the border's total flow.
Now, the White House says the House Freedom Caucus, the Republicans' Freedom Caucus in the House of Representatives, their proposed budget would hurt border security. The chair, Congressman Scott Perry, he responded on this on our program yesterday. Just watch this.
Having the president lecture anybody in America about the border is like having an arsonist lecture you on fire prevention. Since he became president, nothing has changed in the law. What has changed is President Biden's failure and refusal to follow our laws. And so please, Mr. President, let's get serious about what's happening here. Let's stop with the fear and smear, and let's get down to fixing the problems that all Americans have.
You want to respond to that, Tom?
Their budget proposal, I read it. It gives Border Patrol millions less. It gives ICE millions less. Griff said they're releasing the Chinese nationals. There's no bed space. Under the Trump administration, we detained 55,000 people. Right now, they're detaining about 20,000. The secretary is shutting down ICE detention facilities. So he shuts the facilities down and says, got no room to put them. Well, you created that chaos. So when they continue catch and release, catch and release, catch and release, they're going to keep coming. Why wouldn't they, Varney?
Right.
You can cross the border legally, get processed, get released, get flown to the city of your choice at government taxpayers' expense. You get work authorization, and when you lose your case, which 90% will, according to the court data, no one's looking to deport you because the secretary's told ICE, being in the country illegally on his own isn't enough for you to make an arrest.
You just have to keep on shaking your head. Keeps on going, doesn't it?
Disgusting.
Tom Homan, glad you're in New York. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you.